Hi guys, RETROCENGO here. Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited about today's project. This video is gonna be all about this little XPC from Shuttle. This computer came at the early 2000s and the case was just amazing to see something like this could have a fully working PC inside, because we were just used to the big towers back then. So this was just, I was in love with it back then, and I recently got one, and let's just build this one together. As you can see, all the parts are laying around. When I want to keep a computer, this is usually how I do. I disassemble as much as I can. First of all, I clean all the dust out of the PSU. I don't want something that is, 20 years old in my house, blowing in some old dust and all that. So open everything, clean it, check out the caps. Did they, spill out some juice? Are they bulge up here? But they still look nice, but you can't just look and find out that they're okay. So you have to shorten the pin. You can do a little trick, so you can turn this one on without plugging it to the PC, and then measure the 5 volts, 12 volts here, and so on, guys. So that's what I always do. After that, I will check and see if the rest of the system works. I just got this one. I haven't checked nothing. I don't know how fast the CPU is, how much RAM. I can see there's an NVIDIA graphics card here, and it is the GeForce GT 120 1GB DDR2. All right. The thing is, this system is actually a Windows XP system, and I have a super nice and powerful Windows XP computer. So my plan is, this computer, as you can see, it has got on the motherboard, it has got onboard graphic, and it has got a PCI slot. So my plan is to build this PC and replace my Windows 98 DOS system. As you can see, it doesn't take that much space on the table, and it can, with the PCI slot, I can put in a pretty DOS compatible sound card, not like the ISA cards, no, but you can get some decent PCI cards. We will talk about that later in the video. So most of the DOS era is covered. I played DOS games from about 93, 94. I have no knowledge about DOS games from the 80s and stuff like that. I'm not interested in them. So this one also came with a DVD-ROM here, floppy drive, that's a must. This is going to be beautiful. The way everything is constructed, how it cools the CPU down. I was just in love with it back then. I remember I worked at the biggest electronics store in Denmark when these came out in the early 2000s, and I actually sold these to people, and they were like, whoa man, so much PC in so small cabinets, cases. So that was just good old times, guys. So let's start assembling this beauty and see if everything works. All right, the motherboard has been installed. I didn't tighten all the screws, and that's actually because the way this machine cools down the CPU was mind-blowing back then. Now, as I can see, it uses the AMD CPU. Don't know how many megahertz, but for me, as slow as possible. Slow CPU is the key. So I hope that it actually uses the AMD Duron or Sempron. I mean, those CPUs were cheap and so bad back then. But today, I really hope that it's one of them with low cache and stuff like that. So I can, and they ran a little bit cooler, didn't use that much power, and I'm planning on installing and running Windows 98 on this system. I'm not guaranteed. It can crash under the installation. The first thing I always do when I want to install Windows 98 is have maximum 512 megabytes of RAM, nothing more. And I use the second edition installation. And sometimes if the PC, the motherboard, chipset, stuff like that is too new, it will crash under the installation. So it's not 100% that this can be a Windows 98 system, but this part 1 is gonna be hardware only. Let's build this, and on part 2 I will try to install everything. I actually washed the case, the motherboard. It was dusty, of course, 20 years old guys. I washed everything for about a week ago, and I will not give it power yet. I will let it dry for some more days, and just to be sure that everything is just out and cleaned. Now, the reason I didn't tighten all the screws are actually after you install the CPU. I mean, think 20 years back now, guys. Okay, think about the systems back then. On the CPU, you could put this one on back here, and all the heat from the CPU came up here, and it was crazy back then. I remember with the guys, we opened one of these and we just loved the system. So the heat from the CPU, this one got hot, and the heat came up here and over here on the back side, and at the back side it has this really low noise fan installed, and it took the hot air inside the case and through this radiator and it blew up the hot air. Back then, early 2000s, genius system. And beside that, it also had a small cooler, 5mm cooler here on the PSU. So it had, I mean, small form factor, not that noisy. It had everything built in, and of course Shuttle, this system had some different motherboards. I wish it was just a tad older and it had AGP slot. Then I could actually install a 3D card that had drivers for Windows 98. Now, there may be some PCI Express cards with Windows 98 drivers. I haven't found one of those cards, but if I ask Phil from Phil's Computer Lab, he will say that card has got Windows 98 drivers. Go ahead and check his YouTube channel, guys. I mean, Phil is a great guy. He knows 1,000 times more than me about this stuff. So, yeah, we have got this one, but it's not gonna be used that much for Windows 98 gaming. It is gonna be a DOS computer. So again, I'm just gonna use the PCI here. And the VGA over here. And the reason I didn't tighten all the screws for the third time is actually when we install the CPU cooler, they have to be installed down here on the motherboard. So I will install that now. When they are tightened and centered perfect, then I will tighten the rest of the motherboard. The CPU has been installed. And before installation, I of course cleaned it so I could see before I put some new cooling paste. I saw that it was this is an AM2 system, and this CPU is a Sempron AMD Sempron 3000. Slow CPU, that's just beautiful. So I hope this motherboard allows me to install Windows 98. I will find this one had this 2 GB RAM, Kingston 2 GB, and I have found this little Samsung 512 megabyte PC2 RAM, and I will just install this on socket 1 here. I have measured the 2032 battery, and it's 0.18 volts, so this should have 3 volts, so I will need to buy a new BIOS battery also. But installed, all the screws are tightened diagonally, so everything looks beautiful. It's really taking shape. Cooler installed here for the CPU, also just, you know, out with the hot air. PSU installed back here, and the PSU is, it's a 80 watt? No, so low. Max output 200 watts, so perfect for this build, guys. Nice little CPU here, PSU here. So as you can see, it has got just holes here to let out the hot air, and it sucks in the hot air from this area at the front here. So that's again perfectly fine by me. As you can see, Molex, different connectors, perfect solution, guys. Love that. So what I'm gonna do is actually, I have some different fans in, you know, 80 mil size that I will that has got RGB light and stuff like that. I'm thinking about installing that. I'm not sure yet. It all depends on the front here. As I can see, these ones will light up. I will try to see what the colors are, how they look. If they look, you know, if the RGB light won't fit with this, I will just leave it as it is. But I will see if it's, you know, neon blue or something like that, then I will upgrade this. Also, I want to listen to the amount of noise from this fan before I do anything. But I want this small form factor here at the side of my Amiga here, and I'm gonna have this. Why is it a tad wobbly? I have to. Oh, this one has to be moved. Yeah, I want this one to be just as much low noise as possible. So I'm not gonna install a graphic card here. No. So that fan from the graphic card will be excluded. So this one, if it's noisy, I will replace it. The fan here, if it's noisy, I will replace it. But the thing is, on this little bay that goes like this, we have to install a disk drive here, floppy drive, and the CD-ROM. Beautiful system. But under the disk drive here, we have HDD screws here for the 3.5 inches hard disk. Now, the thing is, I don't want an old hard disk in here. Heat, noise, they're old, unstable. So that's not a solution I'm looking for. But the thing is, we have some new different solutions, and when I use my MS-DOS PC, I just use a compact flash solution, and that works perfect. Just one of these cards, and it works perfect for MS-DOS. You won't, it don't destroy anything. I have used it for over a year now. Save games and stuff like that. Works perfect for MS-DOS machines. Doesn't use that much power. No heat generation, no noise. I love them. Also, if you want to download a couple of hundreds of games, just plug it into the PC on your main PC, copy the files and put it in. All right, perfect. But Windows 98, it has got swap file system. It uses the hard disk to read and write from. So with a Windows 98 system, these will be written and read it from a lot. So I have read that stuff like that destroys these cards, also SD cards and so on. So if you want to use Windows 98 and newer, don't use something like this. That's what I have read by many people. The thing is, recently I watched LGR's video. He built himself a perfectly fine Windows 98 system and he installed one of these cards. Now I don't remember if it was the compact flash or SD card. I don't care, one of them. And I wrote to him and he said that he actually used LGR used one of these cards for many years. And he was like, okay, if they just break down, they're so cheap, you just get another one. He's perfectly right about that. But I was just more thinking about the setup and save games and stuff like that. But if LGR has used them for many years and installed Windows 98, then I'm gonna do it also. So this is the first time I'm gonna install Windows 98 in one of these, and I'm gonna see how fast they will die. The thing is, again, LGR, if you are watching this, you know who he is. You have checked his channel, so don't have to say some more about that. I think he's absolutely the best retro YouTube channel out there. He's got the best one, the biggest one. So yeah, thumbs up from me, guys. All right, the thing is, when I want to install one of these, I can have a ribbon cable that goes here onto a connector here, so I can put the card from the back side and stuff like that. Again, ribbon cable. I don't want that. I am all into simplicity. So my solution is actually this. Also in my Amiga 4000s, on my DOS PCs, I love stuff like this. Simplicity. One of these, they cost, don't know, €2 or something like that. I think I bought 30 last time, so they're really cheap. One of these IDE true compact flash card adapters. As you can see, when it detects the card, you will have a green LED light inside your machine. Beautiful. You will have a power and activity light. Perfect. So we just put this directly into the ID port. So no ribbon cable is required. Perfect. You just have to give it some power. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. This one. Oh no, this is to the floppy drive. Well, I have a wait 2 seconds, guys. I have one of these. So we just take, power from here and redirect it to this. So the thing is, here we don't have that much. Is this possible? Oh, I hope this works, man. I just hope this works. Come on. I'm born lucky. I'm just the luckiest guy on earth. So every time I want something, it just happens for me. I don't know why. I've always had it like that. When I liked a girl and I said, oh man, it could be nice to have her as a girlfriend, then it just happened. All my life it has been like that. Yeah, so I just want this one to fit. Okay, as you can see, we got this little notch here, and it has to align with this one. Okay, let's just put it in. Wish me luck, guys. Because if this one will work, then I will be really, really happy. All right, before I connect the power, I'm just gonna put this one on. Carefully now. I have read some people have bent one of these legs. I have never tried it before, but again, just be careful. There we go. It's fully installed. Perfect. Now the moment of truth. Now we're gonna see if I still am a happy guy, a lucky guy. I'm a happy guy, but oh. I mean, look at this. When Shuttle that built this, they thought about me. In 20 years, RETROCENGO is gonna do this mod. Let's just check the measurements and do it like this. I mean, this is just, it has got 2 millimeters of space between the top of the compact flash card and the case. So this is just a beautiful build. Love this, guys. All right, the next step will be the floppy drive. It will come in here. And the CD-ROM drive, DVD drive, what's it called, optical drive, will be placed on top of here. Isn't that just beautiful? I love this. Guys, thank you for watching. This was part 1. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you will subscribe so you can enjoy part 2, where this one will get some power. I will try to install Windows 98. I will get a PCI card, and I will try to run Duke Nukem 3D and enjoy MS-DOS music. Have a great day out there. Bye.